Hi everyone, my name is Colleen Murray. I'm from C20 and I'm here to welcome you to Tech Camp and hope you're really enjoying yourself and give you some tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way. I came to see this as a huge investment in myself, and so a lot of the decisions that I made had to do with trying to get my money's worth and trying to prevent that feeling that I was missing out on something that I really could be taking advantage of, that I really was paying for. And so along the way, finding balance was definitely a focus of mine because if you're anything like me, and I have a feeling you are, if you're in a doctoral program, um, taking on a lot of work is kind of our thing, right? Time management has always been something I'm interested in. I really like to try to get the best of my time and enjoy my days as best I can. And so I'm a big fan of lists and organizational tools, and I have one that's called Wunderlist. I was just going to show it to you really briefly because I'm a big fan of it. This is what it looks like, and you can pin it, you can star things, you can put an actual date. This is just somebody this morning was telling me about martial arts. You can set a due date for it. You can set a reminder date, and it'll send you a little reminder. And then you can just click on your starred items. You can just click on what's due today, what's due for the week. And this is my C20 folder. You can make folders. And I really wish I hadn't deleted some of my older classes, but these are all of the different classes and topics within that. So I very much found that to be helpful. With regards to planning also, I found it important to actually schedule downtime for myself because, again, I tend to take on too much, and that shows up when I'm worn down or cranky. I also scheduled work. That's been something I've done for a long time, but if I can kind of guesstimate how long something's going to take, and I would actually just schedule it, when am I going to do it? And part of that scheduling included trying to finish my papers at least a week ahead of time, and that would allow me to get my papers off to the writing center for feedback. Sometimes I sent them in, twice. Sometimes I sent them into my professors and the writing center. But to have that wiggle room so that I could get again, it's about getting my money's worth. I really wanted to get better at my craft. But also the planning helped me with the unexpected. If I had a week's worth of wiggle room, things always tended to come up, and that's just life. So I'm a big fan of meditation, especially because of those. I'm not sure what the class schedule is going to be for you, and it kind of depends on your time zone. But I'm a big fan of 8 hours of sleep a night. But I found myself having to stay up pretty late to take the classes. And so what I would do is I would come home from work and meditate. It's always been a part of my routine, but I made it a big part of my routine. It was pretty much every day I stopped to meditate. And to me, it has the full effect of a nap. So I'm a big fan. I really like that breathe to relax for a really quick one. But those are all my favorite meditation apps. Nutrition, C19 at our tech camp kind of tried to drive it home to us how important nutrition was. One of them said that she brought a NutriBullet with her, and I thought, well, I don't know if I'm willing to take some greens along on the plane and everything, but I found that I got sick 2 or 3 times the first semester, so I really wish and I gained 10 pounds that first semester. So I wish that I had taken her advice and tried to make sure I was getting my greens in so that I could have more energy. Also, we were so lucky to have one of our C20ers convert our articles onto an audio format, and so I would take those on walks, and I found just even the different format helped me with my retention a bit. I listen to all the classes, so even when I can't make a class, we're expected to, but I listened to the classes in my scheduled time. I scheduled it in. One of the easier things I scheduled in. I like to schedule in easier things for different times, so if it was a video, it would be a different time. But anyway, during that process, I would try to do some yoga while I was listening to the class, and I just have a notepad right next to my yoga. Next, this quote from a C19er rang through my head, especially second semester when I was really starting to, and third, when I was really starting to feel crunched just by everything. A C19er said, "There came a time when I realized I could only do what had to be done that day," and it sounds kind of obvious. I don't know. It just, for some reason, it brought me comfort. Because there really did come a time when all of my planning that I had done, I really had to think about, well, what actually has to be done today. And one of a C20er that you have come in contact with already gave this great advice: treat every interaction as if you are on a job interview. So I tend to get a little tired at the face-to-face meetups, and and I'm not a particularly social person, but I'm really trying to take that to heart, that when I'm speaking with people and when I'm working for a class, I really want to bring my A game so that they know what type of a worker I am. I really like that piece of advice. Another piece of advice that I can't claim to be any kind of an expert with, because I really don't see myself as all that social of a person, but I'm challenging myself in this area because I know that's a huge part of this program, is to take advantage of the network um, and to interact with people so that you can take advantage of the network. And so there are multiple Facebook groups, LinkedIn. I found a lot of Pepperdine GSEP graduates and current students on LinkedIn. The face-to-face, one of my favorite parts about the face-to-face is meeting up with the other cadres. I'm especially not a night person, but out in California, since I'm a Jersey girl, staying up at night is very difficult for me. But I found it really wonderful that any time of the day, when I got up very early, there was always somebody else that was, maybe down at the gym, at the DoubleTree, or at Starbucks early in the morning. So I found that I could still get my socialization in, even though I'm not really a night person. Conferences, again, I wish I was a little bit better at approaching people, but all of my interactions are very precious to me. And one-to-one, I've asked several other cadres, people from other cadres, to give me some one-to-one time, and it's invaluable to me. They're so generous. This is a wonderful program. I'm pretty sure Pepperdine's biggest gift is human resources, so you just have to get to know who they are. The Career Center, I've taken advantage of that. I think in the past I've paid a lot of money for Career Center work, and Yaz is better than anyone that I've ever seen. So I think we really have it going there. And then talking to my work colleagues, again, it brought me out of my shell, but I would just tell them what I was doing, how my research was going, and it helped me with my leadership skills to tell them, what I was researching and how it was making an impact and how they could help me. It got me a lot closer with people at work. I've already got a lot of support at work, and that really helped so that they could see what I'm interested in and how my work is of value and how it can be of value in the future. And then for the travelers, I did invest in a pair of noise-canceling headphones for the flight. I found that I'm much less worn out when I get there, when I use those. I also have most of my books on Kindle, and if possible, I'll get them on paperback, because sometimes you can get them for free if you've already purchased them on Kindle, and I found that to be very helpful, so you don't have to lug a lot of books to face-to-face. Also, Google Drive has an offline mode. I would use that on the plane whenever I didn't have Wi-Fi. And of course, if you're choosing to room with anyone, which I advise you do because you'll save a lot of money, find someone who's chill, just like mine. Mine is awesome, and I've had multiple roommates, and they're wonderful. So I would, and it's just a nice bonding experience. And then lastly, if you could step back periodically, they'll give you a lot of opportunities to reflect on your work. I find it very helpful to at least once a month, if not once a week, just take a step back and think about the program in its entirety. It's pretty genius, in my opinion, the way that it's organized, the diversity of professors, the projects that are just so different and all fit together like a beautiful puzzle. I think you're really going to enjoy it, and I can't wait to meet you all.